Bienvenidos to Cafecito with HPPR, where we sip coffee, share stories, and celebrate the impact of parks and recreation in our communities. Grab your cafecito and join us for inspiring conversations on leadership, culture, and career growth. Let's build connections one sip at a time.
Welcome everyone. This is Juan Carlos Acevedo. I am a board member of HPPR, and today I'm going to be your host of Cafecito. Today we have two special guests. We have Tony Salinas from Phoenix, Arizona, and we have Maria Cepeda, who's also is part of HPPR. Both of them are part of HPPR. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about mentorship. So before we begin, our guests want to know what are we doing, what is Cafecito, and what are we going to be learning today. So before we begin, Cafecito is a new podcast program that HPPR is doing. It will last about 20-25 minutes, and we get to know our guests and ask them questions. We have a couple questions that were submitted, and today we're just going to go ahead and ask those questions just for our guests to know you and know the mentorship program at HPPR. But before we begin, Maria, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Maria Cepeda. I work in Huntersville, North Carolina for the town of Huntersville as the events manager. I do all the events for our town as well as run the farmers market. Excited
And
to be
then thank you for being here. And then we also have Tony Salinas. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tony Salinas. I'm a recreation supervisor for the City of Phoenix Parks and Recreation Department, and I oversee the Northeast Division of the City of Phoenix Parks and Recreation Department.
Okay, so we have a very, very important question for both of you. What is your coffee to go or your to go order of coffee that you do every morning?
I'll go first. I'm a coffee addict. I have a coffee station at my house, so it's a big deal. My to-go coffee order is going to be anything brown shake and espresso with light cream and light sugar.
That sounds delicious. What about you, Tony?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not really a coffee drinker.
Oh no.
However, when I do drink coffee, I just want it hot and black so I could dip my pan dulce in it.
That's Eric and you. Eric, a couple weeks ago, that you guys would be best friends. I'm more on the
Hey,
Maria side, but I'm a cold drink kind of guy. I don't know why. It could be negative 20 degrees here in Chicago, and I still need my frappuccino. But welcome, everyone. Today we're going to get into a topic that is very, very special to the Hispanic network, and that is mentorship. And I know Maria, you have a long, history with mentorship, and it's helped you be where you are today. And Tony, you've been both a mentee and a mentor. So we want to know more about you and what is mentorship. In your own words, what has mentorship meant to you? What is mentorship? And let me start with you, Maria.
Yeah, so mentorship has been super, super important for me. It's opened a lot of doors for me, and it's done a lot of things for me in ways that I thought just couldn't be possible. I've met some of my really great friends through mentorship, and just I've done different programs in mentorship and kind of very organic mentorships as well, where I seek out different, times to talk to people and kind of pick their brains about topics and things. But mentorship is just kind of a two-way street, something I really value and something that I cherish very much.
Okay. And what about you, Tony? What's the story behind mentorship?
mentorship is very important to me because without mentorship, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I've been involved in some good mentorships and some bad mentorships, but they both helped me grow and learn. From the good ones, I learned what to do. From the bad ones, I learned what not to do. So I've been able to take the best of both, put them together, and that helped me be the best mentor that I could be, and also mentee because I will never stop learning and growing.
Okay. So our guests want to know more about the HPPR mentorship program. Can you let us know what was the inspiration behind this program, and what is it? What is the HPPR mentorship program?
Yeah, I think that was something that when we created, or when the group was created, it was something that was already kind of in the minds of everyone. We wanted to do a mentorship program, and it's important to everyone in our group. And I know that Tony has worked really hard on it, matching people and getting everyone a mentor. But we knew that we just always wanted to have it. It was not really a question if we needed it. We just knew it was something that we needed to have, especially as HPPR grows and the legacy that we start and leave for others. We knew it was something that we had to do.
Yeah. And then Tony, let me ask you, and I know we've met each other at different conferences, and it's been a blessing that we can see each other at conferences. And we've talked about it, how good it is for us to be mentors to others and how mentors shaped our own lives. Tell me a little bit more about how HPPR is making a difference. How can it help its members, those that participate in this program, and what is your goal out of this program?
Well, I would say the way that HPPR is helping folks is that through this mentorship program is that it's a one of a kind program. It's the only mentorship program that's dedicated specifically for parks and recreation professionals. And on top of that, now we have individuals across the country that are now networking. They're meeting each other. They're getting to discuss what's going on in their areas so that they can help each other be better and offer better programs to their communities. And I think that matters because a lot of times people feel unheard. They feel unsupported. They don't feel seen. And that stems from a survey that we put out early on when HPPR started. And specifically, we were told that a mentorship program was needed. So now that we have this program here, we have directors, we have people that are entry level, all working together, networking, talking, meeting, and having this big discussion on mentorship in the Hispanic Parks and Recreation community. And I think that's very important because we've never had something like that before.
Okay. Maria, let me ask you, and what makes this program so unique compared to other mentorship programs that you've been in?
So I know that one of the things is that it matches Hispanic and Latino members of our community to other Hispanic and Latino members of the community. So although sometimes you might be one Hispanic in your department, it doesn't feel so much like that when you're matched with different professionals that are doing awesome things and are leaders in other departments. I know for me, I'm one of two Hispanics in our department, and it's nice to know that there's other people that are like you, that look like you, that are doing great things, and you can learn from them.
Okay. So are you saying that basically this program is tailored for Hispanic um, professionals that might need that support from another Hispanic in the field that can shape or can help them go through the process, whether it be a work challenge or any kind of problem. It could be a personal problem, right?
Yeah. I think in my experience, it doesn't always maybe. Yes, it's work related, but it can be different phases of everything of your role, of what you're going through, test taking, and things like that. So just a great use of network and opportunity.
Okay. And Tony, you mentioned that you've had great mentors and not so great mentors. I want to hear a little bit more about you. What, in your own words, what made a great mentor? What makes a great mentor?
Someone that can help see your flaws and help you improve those. It's easy to see the uh the good in everybody. It's easy to see the skill set that you have, but it's not that easy to see folks that are lacking in certain areas and want to help them improve that. And it's also not easy for somebody to want to improve in that area because who wants to admit that they have flaws in something that they normally wouldn't be called out on. Not that you want to call people out on it, but you want to help them develop that. So I've had a lot of mentors help me with certain things to help me improve myself. And by doing that, I'm able to help others and notice the same skills that they might have that are being held back by certain areas that they need to develop in.
So if someone has never been in the mentorship program, let's say, someone who's barely starting their career and they're looking to enter this mentorship program, what is one piece of advice that you would put on them as a mentee? What kind of mentor are you looking for?
I would say keep an open mind. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to disagree, but if you're the mentee, your mentor, they've been there. They've walked in the path that you're currently taking. So take that, understand that, ask those questions. And if you're a mentor and your mentee is asking these questions, you got to understand that they haven't walked that path that you're in. So try to go back and relate to those first couple of steps that you've taken along the way and the difficulties you experienced. And a lot of times the biggest thing is a lot of people, again, is they feel unsupported, unheard, and remember what that felt like, what the frustration was. And then that way, both of you can work together to help each other be the best mentor and mentee.
So Maria, talk to me a little bit about the relationships that you were able to build through like mentorship programs such as the HPPR one. And I know you mentioned that they were really meaningful for your career. Talk to me about some of the challenges that you even faced, or what were some of the great things that you saw in the mentorship programs?
Well, and I don't think I might have shared, this is the first time I've shared with this, but I almost left this career, and I am still young, and I was at the time very young in my career, and I was getting really frustrated with some of management and how they were making decisions without keeping us in mind. And hindsight's 2020. Sometimes managers have to do that, but I had a hard time understanding that. And I almost, as soon as 2 years into my career, I almost left. And if it was not for my mentor that I have and that I created a great friendship with, and being my biggest ally and my biggest supporter while I was going through something very privately, that's something that I didn't share with my other coworkers and something that I didn't share with my current supervisor. Who's to say what would have happened? But if it wasn't for their mentorship, I would have maybe my life would have been a lot different career-wise. But I wouldn't have changed it any other way. I think that with their help, and they help me see too a lot of different ways and how a manager sometimes has to manage. And that was something that I couldn't get from my current supervisor. But they just kind of helped me understand, big picture thinking. And it was also during a time of COVID too. So it was a very brand new territory. And so it was a new way of managing too. But yeah, if it wasn't for that person's mentorship and guide, who's to say, who knows what I would be doing now. But I don't think I would have been as passionate as I am currently in Park and Rec if I would have left.
Well, I'm glad that you had that mentor, and we can still have you here in the park and recreation world.
Yeah, and he also has opened the door for a lot of different opportunities that they've been on with NRPA, with the academy, or just different types of programs. And they're like, hey, apply for this. Hey, apply for that. And, I'm the first one to say, I don't know if I'll make it. I don't know if I'll qualify for this. But that person is always there cheering for me and making sure that I apply for things. And, I'm at the table when even I don't think I need to be at the table.
So it's interesting that you're saying that, because it so seems that there is a heart and a character that mentors come in with, right? How do you know when you're ready to be a mentor, Tony? I know some of us, are like, yeah, I have great mentors, but when do you think someone's ready to cross the line and say, hey, I want to be a mentor to someone?
I think that your mentee chooses you. When you first start off, you don't even know you're being a mentor. Somebody latches on to you, somebody is asking you for guidance, somebody always reaches out to you for help. And before you know it, you're their mentor. And then once you have realized you're in that role, you then start helping others, and then in turn those same folks are your mentor now, because they bring something different to the table also. So however, once you're ready to be a mentor, I think being a great mentor, you got to be a strong communicator. You have to be approachable and supportive, experienced and knowledgeable in the field, definitely. Big part is patience and understanding, and being able to encourage and empower without being non-judgmental. You can't judge folks, so just stay open-minded. And I think that's how we all get started. Somebody sees something in you that they trust, and they want to open up and ask you for help without saying, "Hey, I need your help." And before you know it, you're a mentor. And all of us, no matter how high you go, you're always going to be a mentee. There's always going to be something you don't know that much about that you're going to need help with, that somebody is the subject matter expert in, and they can step in and help you add that, to your supervisor toolkit and be the best mentee mentor that you can.
Yeah, and I think we all have someone in our lives, right, that sees something in us that maybe we don't even see in ourselves first. And they guide us through the process of like, and they have more optimism than sometimes we have at that given time. Can you share with me how the HPPR mentorship program is helping other Hispanics in that way? Can you tell us a couple success stories, or some of the mentees that have been in it? Um, what are some of the success stories that you've seen and heard? And I'll open it up to you, Maria.
Yeah, so this is our second year that we've launched this program. Last year, we were able to pair a number of people, mentees with their mentors. This year, we're in year two, so we've worked out some of the kinks, just to, better matching of people that are in the same time zone as well. So I think once this program goes, a couple of the success stories have been just being able to talk to someone, and even if it's their first time in in any traditional mentorship program, being able to talk to somebody how to get into the next level. Things like resume building, things like the challenges of being maybe the only Hispanic in your department. So we've had a lot of success stories with that. And yeah, I'm just excited to see kind of where it goes to. This is year two, but, who knows, maybe in year 5, we will have, the greatest success story you've ever heard.
And what about you, Tony? Any stories that have stood out in the first year? And I know we're going into second year, that stood out from the first year.
Two of them stand out. One of them, we had a director of a smaller city that specifically wanted somebody that was more boots on the ground type. And I know that mentorship meant a lot because it kept that director relevant and up to speed on what was going on in the field. And then at the same time, it helped that mentor, who would normally be a mentee, improve their mentorship skills. And they came back. So it's working. So they're not mentor mentee anymore, but now they're able to help others. Another one, and we have we put it on our website, was Tam Castillo, the project manager in ITS with Prince George County, and she was very happy with the program. And I just want to read real quick what she added. She said that it was a pleasure participating in the Hispanic Professionals in Parks and Recreation Mentorship Program with her mentor, who was the great Chris Noons. We all know him. Hey, Chris, thank you for being a great mentor. Also, it has been, and as she continues, it has been extremely rewarding experience during which she felt understood, supported by her mentor, and was able to navigate both professional challenges and personal dilemmas with his wisdom and compassion. And I think that's very important that she said that, both professional and personal, because I believe Parks and Recreation is one of the fields where, it's hard to find that work-life balance because we're on 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours, we're doing stuff. And to find a mentor that can help a mentee understand that and make those changes and develop in both of those areas is not only great for her, but your family, your friends, and yourself. So those are two that stand out in my mind.
And we
Yeah.
had one last year. I think it might have been actually before we even did the program. Someone had come up to me 2 years ago at conference and had talked about the group and how she was able to get a contact when a question was asked when we were doing the education sessions. And also, those are some of the ones that we don't really they are told about until we get to conference and it's organic, and we're somewhere at a restaurant or wherever, and this person knows this person and they met through this person and now they're each other's mentors. So yeah, I think getting those people that are getting those stories and how the mentorship program helped them, but also the ones that we hear during conference are always a little bit sweet as well.
Yeah. And we know that, thank you for sharing that. And we know that sometimes some partners or some mentors and mentees, that relationship doesn't work out, right? Sometimes there are challenges. What is one piece of advice that you would give when that relationship might not be working out? What are some of the reasons why it doesn't work out, and what are some solutions that HPPR is doing when maybe that relationship or that match did not work out?
Yeah, so we do check-ins just midway through. That's what we'll be doing this year, just to see how everybody's doing. And unfortunately, sometimes you do have that happen. And I say it's unfortunate because I think there's so many great things that can happen with mentorship when it goes really well. But when you get just a bad apple or a bad taste in your mouth of doing a mentorship program for the first time, and you might not get someone that you thought was going to be as into it as you were, it's soul crushing, it's devastating. I've been there, it sucks, but I think just knowing that is also a two-way street, and we mentioned that too in our orientation. Finding that time to meet and being intentional with it and sticking to a plan. And I know for a fact Chris News is one of those people. So it's no surprise that we have a success story from that. He, even if it's for 20, 30 minutes, like he will stick to that time and he'll reschedule that meeting if he needs to. And I think that's really important. Meeting time, everyone's busy, everyone has something to do, but just knowing part of being a mentor is knowing that you could be adaptable to the different times of meeting and topics and things like that.
So obviously, we could always talk more and more about these stories because mentorship's such at the heart of HPPR, and this is year two. How can someone who is interested in learning more about the HPPR and mentorship program, how can they find more information about this program, and how can they best reach you, Tony and Maria?
Well, you can go to our website, the HPPR dot what is it, online? Oh, www.
www.hppr.com.
Yeah, dot online. There's a mentorship tab that has all the information. It has our manual, and you can always reach out to Maria and I directly via email. There's an email on the mentorship tab where you can reach out through the HPPR email, and they will funnel it to us. But yeah, we're here to help, to encourage, develop, and I hope that more people do get involved because it is a great program. It is a safe space for you guys to network, communicate, and like Maria said earlier, there's some areas where there's not that many Hispanics in their field, and they struggle to figure out how to convey the message or the program that they want to bring to the community. And we can partner with them with somebody where there's, they're busting at the seams with Hispanics in their department, and they can give them guidance and help them do what they want to do without jeopardizing their career in Parks and Recreation. And I think it's just helping understand and acceptance and making sure that you don't waver on what your beliefs are, because you are there to help your community, whether it's putting on a simple program, 8-week program, or a huge major event. There's always somebody in our network that can help you and give you some guidance. So don't be afraid to reach out. Again, HPPR, www.hppronline.online. Go to the mentorship tab, and you can reach out to us through the email address, and they'll make sure we get it. So don't be afraid. Don't hold
Thank you.
back. Let us help you.
Well, one last word, Maria. Anything you want to say? As we're saying, I know we're gonna have to come back at some point, hopefully, and we can have both of you guys, because I want to hear more stories. I know our guests want to hear more stories about how these things are going. But any final words, Maria?
Just grateful, we fight to be at the table sometimes. And, I'm just so grateful to be able to share a space that, that I have you guys, and, we're able to match people, and, great knowledge is just pushing forward. So just grateful for the opportunity that we get to do this.
Well, thank you so much, Tony and Maria. We've learned so much from you. Again, we're going to have you back at some point. So stay tuned. Thank you again. And this is Cafecito for today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining us on this Cafecito. We hope today's conversation gave you a little inspiration, connection, and community. If you want to learn more about how Hispanic professionals in park and recreation are making a difference and how you can get involved, visit us at hppr.online. Until next time, keep showing up, stay inspired, and don't forget to bring your whole self to the table. Nos vemos!